So I already got feedback of my last video. One, I'm not going to use my hands as much, and I need to just talk a little bit slower. So let's give it a shot for this video. Today's Saturday. It is April 18th, and I just kind of want to talk about my day and what I did in regards to my last video of just the things I want to highlight and kind of dive into over time. So, the first thing that kind of I would say summarized today was just the idea of this aerial minimalism, or I told you guys in the last video about uh, kind of living in this year of 2000 of like having a fine line between using technology but social skills and just being more present in the moment. And I'm kind of trying to find a name for it. So I use Aero minimalism based off of Windows XP has a theme called Frutigo Aero. It's just that style. If you look it up, it's kind of like this bluish, glossy kind of tone. But I kind of reflective, like it was just kind of that period of time. But the more I think about it and the more I say it, I like the idea of just XP minimalism because we can really, I don't have to kind of explain it in kind of the reason and purposes behind it. But Windows XP, people can kind of catch on a little quicker. So my day kind of revolved around that. So what I did is I put my smartphone away. And it's on my end table in my living space, so it's still there. It's an alarm clock, but I put it on focus today. It's Saturday. I don't have anything work related to attend to, anything family related. They know how to reach out to me to my home phone number. And yeah, so a friend and I, we went out to do some shopping that I was like things I needed to get. And I just kind of want to talk through that because a lot of it kind of reflects on this XP minimalism. So, um, so again, I guess the first thing I'll mention is these smart light bulbs, which are very kind of specific to what you need. I try to look at Walmart and Target, but I like it because you can change the color and it's LED and it's through an app that I have. So when I play around with the app a lot where you can create shortcuts. So when I arrive home, the lights turn on, all that nice stuff. So again, I don't want to completely remove the ability that technology has as a tool. So I feel like it's always just, again, polarized. It's like people just say no technology whatsoever, or someone just says I can't live without my phone. And I'm kind of was on that side, but I'm trying to bring back this even balance. So I have a couple new lighting lamps that I have around my place, so I need to pick up some new ones. Um, and then I went to kind of a local, I don't know how you market store, like a creative market store, and I picked up a couple of these letters. I love them because they're very specific, so I'll explain a couple of them. One is just for my folks. I want to start mailing people pictures since I'm a photographer. So instead of posting it on Instagram, might as well just take a picture. I have a 4x6 Canon little picture printer, and it's great, but I don't use it a lot. And I mean, I just use it around the house, but what a way of just saying, like, hey, this is me when I was in DC or Chicago. So, what I plan to do is just send a simple group, like, hey, just thinking of you guys, hope you're doing well. Here's a picture from my last trip. We need to hang out. Um, but for my parents, it might be a little bit more personal. And then I got a family member a card that says, your new home is lovely. Since I went to a family member's home for the first time and it was lovely, and I had a great time hanging out with him. So he's going to get that. And I'll put probably definitely a personal message. But the last two are for my brother and sister. because my friend and I were thinking we need to set up another time because last time we went bowling and had dinner, which was awesome. And I'm kind of this party um, curator. I don't know, someone that likes to set up parties or just hangouts and get-togethers. So might as well the next one be kind of a simple card of like, hey, here's a picture of my trip again. Like throw a little something personal, but make sure to set a date for May something, and we would love to have you over for dinner. So again, a simple way where I'd rather text them or have this long conversation, or not no conversation at all. This gets something kind of stirring. So I thought that was nice, and they're relatively cheap. But I thought like that's something you don't necessarily throw away, or who knows, they might just, oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'll set the date, and then they might toss it. But again, I think it's more about the thought that counts. And then we went to a local record store, music store, vinyl store, DVD store. I think every big city has one of those places. So one thing that I'm trying to do with this minimalism, instead of like being consumed by the streaming apps, which one, it's hard to really like for instance, I wanted to see Parks and Rec, but it's on Peacock, and I've had the subscription, but I barely use it. And maybe the last time I used it was when I was watching The Office. So, and I don't own it. I remember those shows used to be on Netflix, which I'm like, great. I can always go to Netflix to watch Parks and Rec or The Office. Now it's at Peacock. Now that's subscription. So what I'm trying to do is just use this as an opportunity to like really start owning my media. And that's kind of like the rule number 2 of my kind of philosophy is just like try to own your media. Now, here's a couple things. So, I bought these movies here, a little bit old school, but I started to watch some movies that were kind of based in the 90s, and I'm very much a movie fanatic. I kind of forget what those movies are like, but also I'm learning a lot of just how those times used to be. So I'm also just like, oh yeah, people didn't have phones when they were at a coffee shop. And, you see a lot more conversations, just simple things like that should you pick up. But, these are really good movies. And I really didn't get a chance to watch them, or if I did, I was so young, I didn't really kind of pay attention. So, I thought that's interesting. But on the other end too, again, not removing technology completely, is that I'm starting to watch Parks and Rec again, but there's really no DVD set that I could find. And so, Amazon, you can buy it. So I'm like, well, yeah, like I can buy a digital version of it because technically I own that. But again, it's not tangibly owning it. And who knows if that season or if that show gets bought out by another company and now you don't own it anymore. You never know. So I like that ability that I get to control and own my own media that I watch, along with music as well too. So I think that's going to be a place I want to go to more. But I've always been going there because I love listening to vinyl. I love just the atmosphere of the store. There's a lot to take in, and it's cool to kind of reflect on old artists and movies that you did. And I'm going to put my hands away because I'm kind of getting in that mode again. So that was my day. And then I went to the grocery store and then just watched one of these movies. And, you would think that's a whole day's worth, but after watching the movie, it's been about 4 o'clock. So I got plenty more time. One thing that I like to do special with the movies is go to Harkins and buy their movie popcorn, because it just makes watching the movie a little bit more special, like a treat. But also, I love their popcorn. It definitely doesn't compare to just the microwave popcorn. So I love that. Diabetes has been good. I noticed that I need the app and the phone to monitor my blood sugar. But I know and I would like to talk about this more in other videos, but I'm starting to get an idea of what my blood sugar does with certain foods. So I don't need to monitor it 24/7. And if anything, it's nice because I notice I'm constantly checking it. And most of the time, it does no service because, um, it's like, okay, my blood sugar is high. Well, I'm out shopping. Okay, I can't eat anything, but there's really nothing more I can do. But as soon as I get home, my blood sugar comes down, and when I check it, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Yeah, I had a little peak here, but um, the day goes on. So it's nice because it is a nice tool to have, but sometimes again, like you can be obsessed about it. Um, and so yeah, I think that's kind of where I want to finish this video. Again, I'm going to be trying to do this daily. I'm actually going on a trip here, work trip. So I'm going to, if anything, the setting's going to change, but I might just check in for a couple minutes. I might check in for an hour if I have a crazy story to share. But I'm trying to keep it in those lines of those four things I talked about, kind of this idea of, XP minimalism, monitoring my diabetes, and I'd like to talk more about that maybe in the next video, my hair system. But the nice thing about the hair system is that it just, I don't really have to talk about it daily. It's not like a thing that I have to constantly update. It's like I find my routine and literally it just feels like it's just regular hair. So, there's not so much stock, but I know some of you might have questions. So please, again, if you're curious about my insight on one thing or the other over time, let me know. Send me a message, comment below. Yeah, I got a nice rest of the Saturday to just continue this. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a good day.